The wait is over. I am joined by Spencer Oliver and Matthew Macklin. Matt, we've just seen the weigh-in. Both made weight. Did you make anything of that? Do you get any clues?
No, I mean, they both looked absolutely shredded, in great shape. I thought Cal looked a bit dry. You could see he took a lot of water out, But then again, Johnny Nell said to me, I've seen him look a lot worse in fights at welterweight where he won. So, he looked. They both looked in great shape.
Yeah. Well, I actually went to see Amir Khan actually afterwards. We went upstairs. He was doing some stuff after he left the scales. I went to see him, and actually, Matt, he looked dry as well. I didn't see it because we was a little bit of a distance away. I thought Kell Brook looked phenomenal. He looked ripped. Do you know what most impressed me about Kell? When I looked at his back, you get an idea of the back. When they've struggled to make the weight right, they're still a bit watery at the bottom. Like you get a little bit of loose flesh, especially they're both 35 years of age. He was like chiseled, so I was like, I was impressed from what I saw with Brook. When I see Khan, I was like, he looks a little bit dark around the eyes and whatnot. So he's equally, I know that he put the weight stipulations in and everything else, and they both made the 149. Actually, Khan looked like he had a tough time getting there as well.
Khan came in a bit lower as well, didn't he?
He came in at like 147 and 5 ounces or something, didn't he? So I think that was just it's a psychological game we're playing now, Dan. You know what I'm saying? And I was not sure actually, because Kell was hinting at it that he may come in over, and I thought that he might have done that purposely to get inside Khan's head, because Khan was the one that had the issue with the weights. Kell Brook wanted it at 151, Khan wanted it at 47, they got it at 49. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, with the psychological battles, but I thought they both looked great. If I'm honest.
I think it comes down to this as well. Look, yes, there was a 100 grand penalty per pound over, but they're both getting a lot of money, and if they were really that desperate, they just swallowed the 100 grand, I reckon, and just go, I'm coming at 149, or I'm coming at 150 or 151 or whatever, and they didn't. They both come inside, so you'd have to go on that they both did the weight okay.
Yeah, agree.
Well, we know Kell had a biggish breakfast yesterday, so he can't have been struggling that much. I was up there looking for any shakes or just any signs of them struggling, but they both look quite comfortable.
Dan, mate, this is 10 years in the making, and me and Matt have followed their careers from that day, even back in the amateurs. We knew them before they were professional. And it's a fight that they both always wanted, but not that they both always wanted, it's a fight that they both believe they win, but they can't see the other guy winning. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of those, Matt, innit? It's like when you speak to Amir Khan, he's like, I don't lose, it's just how I win. And Kell's like, wanted this opportunity so much that he would jump through fire to get the victory. It's like, Kell for me is the one he's more edgy, and Kell for me is the one that needs the victory more, because Amir Khan's always been like, well, I don't really need you, mate. I've got my own little path I'm going on here. Khan's the one that seems more relaxed and not that bothered whether he wins or loses, as opposed to Brooks. Like, if he loses, his whole world's going to come crashing down.
Well, who's the pressure more on then? Because obviously Khan's kind of, approached this from his ivory tower, almost as if he doesn't need Kell. Is it worse for him if he loses?
It's worse for Khan, I do, yeah. I think Khan, he was a star at 17, Olympics, silver medal in the Olympics, turned pro, main event, ITV, back in, like he was a superstar from his pro debut. So Cal was in his shadow, really. So Cal was chasing him, wanted to fight. I think Khan thought, I don't need you. You need me, I don't need you. Swerved it, really. Now it's coming together. Look, I think it would hurt Khan a lot more than it would hurt Cal. It hurt both if they lost, let's be honest. But I think it would hurt Khan more. So that makes me think, 3 years out the ring, Khan definitely believes he's going to win. He wants to, whatever's gone on in sparring over the years, he feels like he's got the Hawkeye over Brook.
See, now I'm on the flip side, because I think that it will destroy Brook more, because he's wanted this so much, and Khan's carved out his own legacy, and he's done that. I'm a celebrity, and he's created that bit of fame. He's got a few, but Brook has wanted this so much, so bad, that a loss here, I think his world would come crumbling down. I think it would be difficult for him to open the front door for
Listen, let's be honest, it's going to hurt whoever loses.
It is.
Who wins?
I think Brook. I think that Brook, and the reason I say that is because of all the reasons that you've highlighted about the 3 years out, Matt, all that sort of stuff. Timing is crucial in this one. Brook has always had great timing. His timing's been impeccable. He's heavy-handed. I just feel that if Brook tags him early, he'll get him there. If Khan can get him into the second half of the fight, then you got to give him a chance. But then you got to ask about his engine still.
Do you know what as well? I think, look, when Brook fought Terence Crawford, you know, he didn't bring Eddie on board. He didn't go with Dom. Dom didn't want to train him because there wasn't enough notice. So it seemed to me that was a bit of a cash-out fight.
Yeah.
I don't think Brook really believed he was going to beat Terence Crawford. You know, this is different. He's gone back with Dom, who he's familiar with, who's known him since he was a kid. He knows what he's good at, what he's not good at. He's had him over in, I think, Fuerteventura. I think.
Fuerteventura.
He's had the diet, everything. You know, he's had him spot on. You know, Khan hasn't boxed in 3 years, and it's his first fight with a new trainer. You know, there's a lot of ifs and buts and things there we don't know.
And Dom Ingle done a brilliant thing yesterday, by the way, by bringing Bomac into the equation, because he rattled Bomac. And what he's done there is, because this is what the Ingles do, they play, it's all about the mind games with the Ingles. And he's thought, right, I'm going to attack the trainer, because the trainer's now going, I need you to win this fight, take the fight to him. If Khan puts his ego on the line and decides to stand and trade, that's where he comes unstuck. I think it's all about game plans.
Well, also, I think what Dom did there was he deflected it. He took it away from Kell and Amir, because Amir was probably a bit more media savvy than Kell. And he was doing him, wasn't he, in the exchanges. So I think Dom cleverly took it away from the fighters and made it about him and Bomac. And, you know, Dom had the better there.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah.
You going with Kell?
I'm leaning to Kell.
No one's doing it with any confidence, really, are they?
How can you?
He boxed in 3 years, and he's boxed in 18 months.
And also, it's not just
confidence.
that. It's like they're both 35. They've had these careers. They both admit they're on their way down. And Matt will tell you this, right? When you get to this stage of your career, what they've had to put themselves through in this one training camp has been something they haven't done for years and years and years. Now, that's taxing on the body, Matt, right? So they might look great in sparring. Sparring and fighting is chalk and cheese. Two totally different things, right? So when that first bell rings, they don't even know what they've got in the tank. They don't know if the leg's gone, if the punch resistance is gone, if anything's left them. I think they're only going to find it out. That's why they're probably going to bed going, I don't know what's going to happen here.
I could get down to whatever weight now, and I could get fit on the bags, hitting the bags, and I could look $1 million on the bag. But the bag doesn't hit back, and the bag doesn't move out of the way. I haven't got to chase it. I haven't got to get my distance. I don't have to try and find my timing. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can build up your physical fitness. You can run around the track. You can smash your times out. Still at 35, you can still do great times, and you can still be physically fit. But you know that timing, that distance, different.
So Matt, the first bell goes, and you're Kell Brook. What do you do? How do you expect it to play out?
I think, look, Kell's got great timing, or has always had great timing. I think he's going to he'll try and put the pressure on Khan. I think he'll try and make Khan work harder than he wants to work. He'll be trying to close the distance. He'll be trying to get his timing. So I think he'll use a lot of feints to see what Khan's going to do. Khan's got great hand speed. You know, the feet might not be there anymore, but the hand speed has always been electric from Khan. So he won't want to reach and get countered by Khan. So I think there'll be a lot of feinting going on, trying to get him to see what he's going to do, see if he can kind of try and get his distance, get his timing. And just try and keep the pressure on Khan. That's what I think he'll do.
Early doors.
Early on.
What does Khan do?
Khan's got to stick to the game plan. I don't think there's any secret about that. You know, Khan, because Matt's exactly right in what Kell's got to do, and I think that's exactly how Kell will play it. He'll try and take Khan out of his rhythm. What Khan's got to do, he's got to establish the jab early, because this could be a battle of the jabs. Khan's got to establish the jab. Not the one against Terence Crawford where he's running singles, single rights. He needs to rekindle that speed that he had, right? Find the range with a jab. Off the jab, he needs to throw the punches in clusters. That's where he's effective. If he starts holding his feet, Matt's right in what he says. Brook is an unbelievable counterpuncher. If he holds his feet, he's in trouble. If ego plays a part, he's in trouble. For Khan, stick to the game plan, plain and simple. He's got to use his boxing skills, mobility, speed of hand, speed of foot, punches in bunches.
Round the ring?
What would be ideal for Khan is how he boxed Andres Kotelnik. You know, Kotelnik was a brilliant counterpuncher. Kotelnik was a little bit tuck up. When you finish punching, he gets on you. And you couldn't do that with Khan. When Khan's that fast, you've got to punch with him. When he punches, you've got to time it and go with him, because he was, back then anyway, he was too quick at getting in and out, and he just frustrated Kotelnik. Now, he might do that with Brook. That would be I think that's what a prime Khan would do with Kell Brook. Kell got good timing, good counterpuncher, and he wouldn't want to be getting countered, so he'd be feinting and he'd be in and out. But I don't know at this stage of his career, can he do that anymore?
$1 million question, whether Khan can put the punches together, because if he can, we've got a serious fight in Brooks, and I've only put it on the basis that you go on last fights, and I'm not sure that Khan can still put the shots together like he used to, and if he can't, that's why I go Brook.
Well, I've been looking at, the training clips on Behind the Ropes. it looks like Bomac's trying to make him faint often before going.
Yeah.
Does that offset?
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're boxing a counter puncher, he's trying to read he's going to get the read of the timing of you.
Yeah.
And when you throw, he comes over, he slips outside, and so the thing to do is trigger him, give him a feint.
Bomac,
make
try
him
and
react.
counter puncher.
Yeah.
And Bomac knows that because Crawford, obviously, who he trained for the fight, who beat Kell Brook when he done Kell Brook in 4, he recognised that's how the fight is won and lost.
Yeah.
And that's another plus advantage as well, massive advantage for Khan, that he's got Crawford in the team, because again, it's psychological things, Matt, when you're there and you're close, you think, wow, he's got him, so what, they know how it works, they know how to beat me because this guy did. It's a smart move, but it's all about who's got what left.
Spanner in the works. Does Kell come out southpaw or orthodox?
I don't know, but listen, Khan's good with southpaws anyway, so he boxed so many in the amateurs, didn't he? Mario Kindling, all of them, he was brilliant with those straight right hands down the middle, so I don't think him going southpaw is necessarily an advantage.
I think he comes out orthodox purely because he's going to come out, he's going to want to be at his biggest strength, and yes, he's as good as a southpaw, but slightly better as orthodox.
Yeah.
You can't take that risk, man, not a fight of this magnitude.
Spence, final predictions, what round, if it doesn't go to 12?
It don't go 12. Brook wins the fight. I think Brook wins it in between 7 and 9. I'm being very specific there, but I just feel that that's where he's going to get it. I think that Khan starts beautifully. He sticks to the game plan, but after a while, Brook keeps grinding him down, draws him into a fight, boom, tags him, and that's where I see the fight being won and lost.
What do you think, Matt?
Very similar, somewhere around 6, 7, 8, 9.
I
don't
actually
think he'll catch him too early, but I think he will get to him.
I think Khan takes the first 4. I think Brook claws it back, and I think we're in a home straight. I really do. I think we see the final well.
Who have you got?
I think Kell on points, which is one I've not heard much.
What like split? Majority?
I'll go split. Let's go split.
Oh, you're going split?
I'm going split.
I just wanted you to be specific.
No, you're right. I'm going to go Kell split decision, rematch in the summer.
Wow, there you go.
Now I'm here with Ben Shalom and Johnny Nelson. We've seen everything now. We've seen the press conference, we've seen the public workout, we've now seen the weigh-in. What a turnout. What was that, 2,500 people?
Yeah, it was incredible. We actually had 10,000 sign-ups last night just to get into the weigh-in. We only advertised it for the first time yesterday. It just starts to see the magnitude of the fight. It's also what it means in Manchester as well. Yeah. This is a lad from Sheffield and a lad from Bolton, with Manchester right in the centre of it. It's a perfect place for it to happen, and everyone's asking about this fight. You walk down the street, everyone is talking about it. You go on Twitter, everyone is talking about it. And we saw it today, and it was an explosive atmosphere, and wow, what an event.
Johnny, we've seen them on the scales now. Do you make anything of it? I know there was a lot of speculation as to whether Kell would make the weight. What do you take from it?
So I phoned Dominic at the hotel this morning because we were all sat there speculating about the weight, Kell making the weight. And all of a sudden the banana skin came and thought, hold on a minute, what if Amir comes in overweight? Then I'd be upset if I was Kell thinking, you put pressure on me. So I phoned Dom, I said, Dom, this could happen. And he said, we don't care what Amir weighs. We're happy with our weight. We're coming at a weight that we're comfortable, healthy, and we can fight at this weight. So I didn't care. Even if Amir came in at 152, whatever, they didn't care. Seeing them on the scales, I've seen Kell on the scales before, and I've worried about him fighting at the weight because his skin looked matte, he looked drawn, his face looked drawn, he looked ill. Today I saw him on the scale, and he looked like a racehorse, and I thought, good lad, his skin had colour. His muscles were ripped, and I thought, yeah, I can see why they're happy now. This boy looks healthy at it. Amir got on the scales, and I kind of clocked this when Amir did the public workout the other day. And he's made the weight. He looked slim, but it just looked, there was no tension in his skin. He just looked like a guy that had just lost weight. He still had his six-pack, but he just looked skinny. Trust me, when it comes to fight night, Amir's back will be massive. Yeah. And that's where he gets his punch his punches from. Kell and Amir, now the weighing's over. That argument's gone. Now it's about the fight. Now it's about who's got what left in the tank. I asked Dominic what he thought of Kell when he got back from training camp. He said, Johnny, he's done everything asked of me. The answer will be told when the first bell goes, and I'm quite sure that's the same for Amir Khan. I think this fight is made at the right time. This fight would suit both fighters down to the ground. I think the fight happening now would actually be more exciting than it would be 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Wicked fight. Wicked fight.
Kel's had 6 months for this training camp, and you could tell. And he's, I spoke to Dominic as well. He said he's never trained so hard. He's never been so up for it. And you could see on the scales he was enjoying himself. It's a happy Kell Brook, and that's a dangerous Kell Brook. And I think he feels he's always been the better fighter, and Amir's always avoided him for that reason. And now he feels like Amir thought, oh, I'll get him at the right time, and Kell thinks he's made a massive, massive mistake.
And that's why a loss would hurt Amir more than it would hurt Kell. It'll hurt both fighters,
I was going to ask that.
But it would hurt Amir more than it would hurt Kell, because Amir has made himself a name in the States. He's boxed at a higher pedigree of opponent than Kell. So a loss for him, to say all this time he's been dismissed him like he ain't nothing, that, bragging-wise, it's horrible. You can imagine, your boss gives you a hard time today because you've done something bad at work. Boxing not like that, because you've got 1,000 bosses a day telling you how bad you were, how rubbish you were, how bad you looked. That's a lot to swallow. And there's bragging rights for these boys, because Kell comes out in Manchester sometimes, and vice versa.
They
these
all
guys
know
are
the same lads.
Yeah, they all know the same people. The pressure's on. Kell phoned me about 7-8 months ago, late one night. I think he was a little tipsy, and he said to me, "Johnny, I've just been on the phone to Amir," and I went, "Yeah." He said, "The fight's on." I said, "Kell, listen to me. Don't fall for that trick again until he signed that piece of paper. You know, don't be talking about the fight to anybody until that fight's on." Yeah. From that point onwards, Kell was on it. He was training because he thought, this fight's happening. I said, be careful, don't say anything until it's signed, sealed, to be delivered, because he's been teasing you for 17 years. So now the fight's on.
It's on. It's at the AO Arena. I mean, what is that atmosphere going to be like? It's home to so many big nights in boxing. This is going to be another one that joins the catalogue.
It's an iconic arena. I was speaking to the venue manager the other day, and he was talking to me about the nights with Mike Tyson and Nas, and he was saying, never have they had two British guys with such followings. Like, Keller's got a massive following. People forget that. He sold arenas himself. He sold stadiums out himself. And now, obviously, we know about Amir Khan's following. So it's going to be electric. I genuinely don't think we'll have seen an atmosphere like it. I think it's going to be that pent up, that emotionally charged. And at the end of the day, anyone that's watched boxing for the past 10, 15 years has fallen in love with both these guys. And that's why there's so much interest in it. No one wants to miss this fight. It's lucky few that have got tickets on Saturday night, because it's going to be huge. And I expect the box office numbers to be enormous. And I expect everyone to get what they wanted, which is a great fight between two unbelievable fighters in peak condition now, in good condition, and ready to go.
This is how big this fight is, and I've seen them all. David Haye against Aldi Harrison, Carl Froch against George Groves, Costa Azul, Ricky Hatton. I've been here. The atmosphere is mad, and I've always been able to squeeze something or someone in. This is the first fight in my whole career where you cannot buy a ticket. Yeah. They're gone. You can't even hustle a ticket. Yeah. This is the first fight I have ever been to when I've actually seen it. I thought, this is serious. This is beyond serious.
Honestly, it's got to the stage where I'm trying to buy tickets back from people that I've sold them to. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Sportsmen from around the world. Mike Tyson was ringing and asking if he can get here. Nas wants to get here. No one wants to miss this fight, because it's a historic fight that we've waited for so long. And yeah, as Johnny says, it's one of those fights where you just cannot get a ticket.
Yeah. Well, that concludes fight week. We've had the public workout, we've had the press conference, we've had the weigh-in, we've had people queuing outside to get in, 2,500 people in here. You can't buy a ticket, unfortunately. This is completely sold out. The only way to watch it is Sky Sports box office.